Thanks. A state Supreme Court ruling delivers a win for environmentalists over regulations on PFAS, also known as those forever chemicals.
State regulators can now force landowners to clean up their own PFAS spills before the pollutant is officially identified as a hazardous substance. Taylor Zebel has been speaking with both sides. She has a reaction to this verdict.
A case that began in 2021 has finally found its verdict Tuesday morning. Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce filed a lawsuit against the DNR to limit the agency's ability to investigate PFAS contamination and require businesses to clean up their own contaminated spills. Environmental advocates share their excitement.
Jumping up and down, we're so thrilled because we were very worried that it could go the other way, in which case we wouldn't know how the DNR would be able to deal with any kind of spills.
Governor Tony Evers releasing a statement saying in part, quote, "This is a historic victory for the people of Wisconsin in my administration's fight against PFAS and other harmful contaminants that are affecting families and communities across our state," end quote. PFAS is a group of chemicals that are used in things like nonstick frying pans and firefighting foam. But spills of those chemicals can be found in groundwater, where they could harm your health. If you were to eat or drink something with these chemicals in it, state officials say it could increase your risk of some cancers and high blood pressure. One politician is frustrated with the verdict. Senator Eric Wimberger released a statement saying in part, quote, "In order to begin finally protecting Wisconsinites from harmful PFAS, the DNR simply needs to finally do the work of bringing expert testimony to court and prove that PFAS emitters are causing contamination. Governor Evers and the DNR need to finally stop playing games on PFAS, protect innocent landowners, and litigate the cases as if they actually wanted to win and clean Wisconsin's land and waters," end quote. We reached out to the Wisconsin DNR about that verdict, who declined to comment. Reporting in Green Bay, Taylor Zebel, Action 2 News.